Antonia Romaker. Привет, меня зовут Antonia Romaker. Well, today we study Russian with you, but do not forget that on Mondays I usually release English classes. So on this channel you can also study English. But today it's a Russian day, if I may put it like this. So today we're going to talk about the nominative case. So we have already discussed cases, Russian cases in general. Now it's time to get into more details, and that's what we're going to do. So, nominative case, to tell you the truth, it is the easiest case in the Russian language. The first, the most general, the most commonly used, and the easiest. So, here in red, we have three key points. The first one, subject. It means that we use nominative case when we write a subject in a sentence or when we create a subject of a sentence. So, subject is always in nominative case. The second one, dictionary. The key point, dictionary. It means that all the words in a dictionary are always given in the nominative case. So when you try to search for a word, a translation of an English word, you always find a Russian word in the nominative case. And the last one is default. Default means, well, it is closely connected with the dictionary. So the nominative case is a default form or an initial form of a noun or an adjective or a pronoun and so on. So it is the basic form, the default. When somebody gives you some new vocabulary, they give it in the nominative case. So now let's get to some particular functions which the nominative case fulfills. So the first one, we use nominative case to speak about the person or thing performing an action or being in a state. So this is the first function, and let's take a look at two examples. Я работаю преподавателем. This sentence would be translated as I work as a teacher. Я работаю преподавателем. I работаю, it's a predicate. Work преподавателем as a teacher. Here, я, местоимение, is in the nominative case. In the first case, we do not say мне, меня, and so on. We say я. This is the nominative case of the pronoun I. Я работаю преподавателем. I, the subject, I do the action, I perform an action, I work. Or basically here you can say that I'm in a state, I am a teacher. Well, more or less, я работаю, I work. Or you can say я работаю каждый день, I work every day. I do what? I work. This is an action. Я работаю. And I am the subject here. I am a person performing an action. So I, the pronoun, is in the nominative case. The second example, мой друг болеет. My friend is sick or ill. So I'm not saying that he is sick and he's doing some nasty stuff. No, we are just talking about some diseases and illnesses. So, мой друг болеет. My friend is ill. So here we talk about a person being in a state. Моя машина сломана. My car is broken. Here, моя машина, both these words are in the nominative case because this is a thing being in a state. Моя машина сломана. My car is broken. Моя машина сломана. The second function of the nominative case is to define a person or thing or refer them to a certain group. Let me give you a couple of examples. Татьяна – студентка. Иван – студент. Tatiana and Ivan are both proper names of people. And studentka, student means a student, but studentka is used for women, girls, for feminine, and student is used for male, men. So, Tatiana студентка. It means Tatiana is a student. Ivan студент. Ivan is a student. By the way, here we deal with referring people, persons to a certain group, or basically defining them. And береза – это дерево, the last example. A birch is a tree. Here we once again define a thing. So we say береза, a birch, is a tree. Это дерево. By the way, here you can skip the word это, and simply say береза, дерево. But it's better to say это. So when you give definitions to different things, you use the word это. It's like the equivalent of using the verb to be when you define things. But here, Tatiana это студентка is not a very good way to say that, because here basically you are not defining a person, or a thing. You are referring this person to a certain group. So students is a group, and you refer these people, Tatiana and Ivan, to a certain group, students. Tatiana студентка, Иван студент, береза это дерево. And the last function of the nominative case is to designate a person or thing which the action is directed to. So here we basically deal with the passive voice. For example, книга написана мной. The book is written by me. Книга here is in the nominative case. Книга написана мной. The book is written by me. And the second example, конференция была хорошо организована. The conference was well organized. Конференция была хорошо организована. The conference was well organized. So once again, конференция here is in the nominative case. Well, all of my examples so far, in all of my examples, the word in the nominative case was used in the first position. Well, it is often like that, so we use the subject on the first place, but it is possible to change the word order, because in Russian the word order is not so important. It does not fulfill a very important role as in the English language. So we can say мной книга написана. So by me the book is written. Мной книга написана. Or вчера конференция была хорошо организована. So here we add the word вчера, yesterday. Вчера конференция была хорошо организована. Or we can say вчера конференция была организована хорошо. So we can change the places of these two words and so on. Actually, there are a lot of changes possible, but today we are not talking about the word order. We are going to devote a whole class to that, of course. Today we focus on the nominative case. By the way, you have probably already noticed that the nominative case is never used with prepositions. So when you see a preposition before the noun, then it should not be in the nominative case. For example, a very common phrase, у меня есть. It means I have something. In the English language, here we deal with the nominative case of the pronoun. So here it is the subject of the sentence, and have is a verb, a car is an object, a direct object. However, in the Russian sentence, the construction is a little bit different. As you can see, меня, before the pronoun, which means I, we have a preposition у меня. So that's why меня, I, cannot be used in a nominative case. In this situation, we are supposed to use genitive case. And to tell the truth, the subject of the sentence is машина. Есть. У меня, it's an indirect object here. So be careful. When you see a preposition, the word after it cannot be used in a nominative case. That's a very important thing. In addition, when we deal with such constructions in Russian as это or вот, the equivalent would be это this is, вот here is. So in such construction, after these words это and вот, we use the words in the nominative case too. So, это моя сестра. This is my sister. Это моя сестра. Вот твоя зарплата. Here is your salary. Вот. Вот твоя зарплата. Here is your salary. Это моя сестра. This is my sister. Вот твоя зарплата. Here is your salary. So when we deal with the nominative case, when we should put the word in the nominative case, the only thing we need to do is just to take the word out of the dictionary and to put it in the sentence. We do not need to change anything in singular. However, in plural, of course, the form changes. In this case, we're supposed to use to add some endings. For example, и, я, and а. Some words do not need any endings, they do not change their forms. For example, the word пальто, coat, but we are going to talk about that not in this episode, not in this class. So we have already talked about plural numbers, so you can take a look at my other class. But that's it for today. I hope that you liked this video and you found it quite useful. So please like the video, give me your heart, because I have given you mine already. No, I'm not very good at drawing, so like it, share it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hope to see you soon. See you next time. Happy English and Russian practice. Bye bye.